Let's work on problem number 14. The sign below shows the length of a trail in a park. Sunrise Trail is 3¼ miles long. So what is the length in feet of the trail? So notice they give us miles and they want us to find in feet. So this is a measurement conversion problem. Let's take a look at our sentence. The length of the trail is feet. So again, we want to know how many feet this trail is. What is the equivalent distance in feet? So this is something I want to know my conversion rate for miles and feet, and it's not something that's very easy to remember. So this is definitely one of those that will be on your reference sheet. So looking at your reference sheet, you will see that 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So remember the strategy that you were taught. There's our conversion rate, and we want to matchy-matchy. We want to know how many miles. We want to put miles on this side, and we want to put feet on this side. So we want to know now what is 3¼ miles, and I want to know how many feet. So we match our units so that we can say to go from miles to feet, to go from 1 to 5,280, I need to multiply by 5,280. So that means that I have to multiply 3¼ by 5,280. So now in my head I'm thinking, ew, in order to multiply this number by a mixed number, I would have to turn both of those into fractions. And those are some pretty big numbers. So I might want to try to do this one a little bit differently. Instead of multiplying just 3¼ as a whole group, as a whole combination of numbers, I am going to decompose my 3¼ I'm going to say that I can have 3 plus 1/4. So now what I can do is I can separate and I can multiply 3 times 5,280 and 1/4 times 5,280, and it will make my multiplication much simpler. So again, I want to multiply 3 times 5,280, and then I'm going to add the product of 1/4 times 5,280. So I'm going to do my work off to the side. I'm going to multiply 5,280 times 3, and I'm going to find out 24, 8. I'm going to find out that I have 15,840. So that's what those two equal when I multiply them together. So now I want to multiply 1/4 times 5,280. So this is okay because if you notice, we have that 1 in the numerator, and then if we turn 5,280 into the fraction that we need it to be, I have these 1s. So I can just look at this and multiply 5,280 and then multiply my denominator as 4 times 1, and I get 5,280 fourths, and I know that that's a division problem. So now I can set up 5,280 inside my division house with 4 on the outside, and I can go ahead and do that division. So remember, I'm going to keep repeating the steps of division. I'm going to bring down, and whenever I bring down, I must put up. So I get 0, I bring down the 8, so I must put up 4. How many 4s are in 8? I have 2. I get 0. I bring down my 0, so I must put up. How many 4s are in 0? 0 4s. Notice every digit that I brought down, I have a matching number in my quotient. So I find out that 1/4, this part of the trail, is going to be 1,320 feet. And then I can go ahead and add those two numbers. So I'm going to line it up underneath here. Oops. I am going to line it up. And I get 6, 11. So the length of the trail is 17,160 feet. And that does seem reasonable because if I think about 3 miles, about 3 miles times about 5,000 is going to give us about 15,000.